Let me bring you in to tell the story of poor little Kimmy Schmidt. And I know you're you have to be as torn on this story as I am.
Yeah, partially. So the story is her name is Ellie Kemper. She's a actress. She was on The Office. You remember her as Erin on The Office. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Mm-hmm. She's, to me, like, it's the type of person that you just look at and are happy because you look at, like, just seeing her face makes me happy. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because I'm a big Office fan.
Right.
But apparently the internet has no such attachments. And
no, there's nobody happy on the internet.
No. Everybody's miserable. And like, we're like, gosh, I can't understand why we can't solve these problems. Every time you go onto social media, everyone's awful. I wonder what the cause could be. It's a whole nother rant. But so Ellie Kemper, an actress, she is in trouble now, Twitter trouble. She's about to be canceled in the midst of being canceled by not just Twitter, of course, but multiple large media organizations who have now decided to jump on this bandwagon.
Wait. What? She's in Twitter jail. Has she done anything on Twitter?
No, nothing.
Has she said anything on Twitter?
People are tweeting about her.
Nothing on Twitter.
They have tweeted that she is a KKK princess.
She's the KKK princess.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. And you get the types of headlines from, and you know this is a very reliable source, the Daily Beast. Yes, The Office's Ellie Kemper was beauty queen of a racist ball. That's how it's being summarized. So the backstory is she was crowned the queen of love and beauty at what sort of was referred to as the Veiled Prophet Fair. Now, the Veiled Prophet Fair is something in St. Louis where it was created back in the 1870s, I believe. Now, little known fact about American history, everything created in the 1870s was racist. All things in the 1870s were racist. At least, certainly.
Well, especially in the South.
Right. It's certainly,
in the South, most likely. Yeah.
Certainly as it applies to today's society. Even the people we look at, as civil rights heroes of the 1870s said things you would not feel comfortable saying today.
Yeah. Yes, right.
Now, it does appear, by all accounts, that the early days of this particular fair was created by very rich, white, powerful people, and many of them were racists. There's some of the imagery of that time, again, in the 1870s, that was, I would say, seemingly themed towards the KKK. Okay, so
all right,
right.
All
like,
right.
I don't think anyone is going back and saying like, what was a great founding was the founding of this particular event. I mean, it's been looked at for a very long time as having a problematic history. Now, over time, as we moved into the 20th century, it became to be a problem. People started complaining about those sorts of themes. And eventually, black people became members of the organization, later on, in the 70s. This is 20 years before Ellie Kemper was named the queen of love and beauty at this particular
Sausage
bar.
Queen.
Right.
Yeah.
In fact, the name was changed. Like, all of this is ancient history. They changed the name to Fair St. Louis. And Ellie Kemper in 1999 became the 105th girl, as she was 19 years old, to be given the title of, to win this little fair. Now, what started this controversy?
I watched her all these years, and I didn't know she was a hidden Klan member.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
You'll notice she was not alive in 1877. Not alive in 1979.
Or so she says. Yeah. So she says. Have you seen her birth certificate?
No, I haven't. In fact, she may have been born, who knows, maybe in Kenya. We don't know. We're going to find that out later.
Exactly.
So what started this recent controversy, Glenn, is, some idiot on Twitter, of course, tweeting that she was the KKK princess and referring to a 2014 Atlantic article. An article in the Atlantic had excerpts from a book about this particular fair, saying it was problematic, went through sort of a history of it, did not reference Ellie Kemper. The story was not about Ellie Kemper, but basically said, like, this fair is not a good idea because it has a racist history. Then someone digs up, hey, Ellie Kemper was the winner of this award at this fair, and now Ellie Kemper equals racism, I guess, is how this thing works. Now, all of the problems with this analogy. She was 19 at the time. The affair was not even the same affair. It was named something else. She was not around in the 1870s. It was not a KKK fair at the time. There were black members who, for some reason, wanted to join this racist organization many years later. Nothing points to the idea at all that she had any racist feelings, intent, and nothing like that at all is even
exactly
being assumed.
What white America, the racist white America, says every time you point out their hidden systemic racism, Stu.
Right. Now, even the people cited in the article have come out and said, no, Ellie Kemper is not a racist. There's no reason to believe she's a racist. The people who said the fair was racist are saying, like, you don't understand, this developed into a St. Louis tradition, and it really had nothing to do. Its roots were bad, but it was not like that at this point. Also, most of the girls who participate in this particular event are not excited about it. They're doing it for their dads. Their dads have been, maybe part of this organization for a while. They're going along with it.
Racist.
These are the people who were saying the organization was racist at one time are saying this about her. So
yeah,
I think on its surface plays as a very typical, ridiculous cancel culture example, right? There's no reason to believe Ellie Kemper is a racist. She has never shown any signs of racism. It is a completely nonsensical story based on some idiot tweeting something they knew nothing about.
Man.
And then the experts have come out and said, no, she's not racist. Yeah. This is not what to assume from this piece. Okay.
And just because this happened, 20-some years ago, you think that just washes away all of the racism that she clearly either knew or didn't know, and either was or wasn't at the time. You just think it just washes all of that guilt away.
First of all, there's no guilt. She should not feel guilty about this. But the secondary part, and of course, I should say she should not feel guilt about this. I will not be surprised at all if she is apologizing, though, by the end of the day. We should be clear about that.
Of course she will be.
This is, of course, the way she's going to handle it. Now, part of the reason I know she's going to handle it that way, or I believe she will, is because she's a big liberal. I mean, she's no conservative. She's a big liberal. She's been all over talking about, she's not like, I wouldn't say an incredibly politically active person, but has been every example you could find of her being political has been to the left. Her parents were wealthy people from St. Louis and have some, loose ties, supposedly, to some Republican policies, but she's not at all that way and has donated to, like, Black Lives Matter. So that introduces you to the second layer of the story, and I think part of it, which is interesting to our audience and how we react to it, because I think we would all agree on the surface, Ellie Kemper is completely innocent here, and this is a blatantly terrible example of cancel culture. On the other hand, there is certainly a part of me that sees someone who donates to Black Lives Matter, an organization that is actively creating this world that does these things to people all the time, cancels them for nothing all the time.
Right.
When you are on that side of the argument and you create and manifest this society in this way and cheer it on over and over and over again, are we really supposed to feel bad for you? And
are we supposed to get up and help you? And then, but there's a bigger part of me, Stu, that just says, isn't it time to have some ice cream?
Right. It's like, Pat says this every once in a while. Pat Gray from Pat Gray Unleashed. He says, I just love it when liberals eat their own. And
yes.
I go back and forth on this because I can feel, there's that sort of, animal instinct inside of you to say, screw her. She helped build this, and screw her. She made this bed. She's going to have to lie in it. On the other hand, I think the right thing to do is to say that she's not a racist, because you know what? She's not. And there's no reason to believe that she is. This thing is bigger, though, than this left-right thing that we talk about all the time, Glenn, and that, like, look, they go after the left on this stuff, too, constantly.
Right. What comes to mind is the old saying, liberals can't live with them. Seriously, isn't it about time to get some ice cream? Seriously. I mean...
Is that the official Glenn Beck position?
No, my official position is we should support her because this is crazy. Because we make no ground, we make no friends, and I'm not saying we're going to make friends, but we make no friends by just throwing her under the bus. We are not taking the higher ground, so they just continue to think that we're monsters, and that's fine. You don't do it for that reason. You do it because if I don't stand for the person who I really abhor their positions, if I don't stand for them, nobody's going to stand for me. Nobody will stand for me.
Yeah, I think morally...
And I don't want to be a part of that culture.
Morally, I think it's unquestionable what the right thing to do is, right? But if you take the morals out of it for a second, because, this is America in 2021...
that is a problem. Yeah. Listen to what you just said.
No, I know.
Morally, it's clear. But let's take the morals out for a second.
I will say a lot of times, I only say that because I don't think that always wins the argument anymore. There was a time, I think, where you could just say, like, this is blatantly the right thing to do, and whatever the consequences are, screw it, you do it anyway. I don't think that's where America is these days. So let me make a pragmatic argument for it as well. When we come out and the left comes up with a ridiculous standard, like let's just cancel everyone for saying something that isn't racist because we can come up with some bizarre justification that it is. And we think that's a bad standard, and we complain about the standard, and it keeps getting applied to us. Then it gets applied to the other side, and we say, okay, well, you guys made the rules, therefore we're going to apply them to you. What we're admitting there is we're allowing them to make the rules. We are codifying their terrible standard by enforcing it on both sides instead of fighting the standard. And I think the standard is what needs to go down here, not Ellie Kemper. No one cares. I mean, look, I like Ellie Kemper. I'm a fan of her. But, like, there's no huge political win in losing Ellie Kemper from the left. She's just an actress. I am much more interested in convincing people who are winnable that this cancel culture standard is ridiculous. And sometimes examples from the left help win those people in the middle over easier than just defending your own side. I think taking that stand is an important thing to do.
I hate to sound like Mother Teresa. However, the reason why people lose arguments is because they're not sincere. They're just trying to win. And so if we say, and I agree with you, it's the right thing to do morally, but it also doesn't change any hearts if we just dogpile it. It's not good strategy. We don't want to give them the, yes, you create the rules. Everything you said is absolutely valid. The thing that bothers me about this is that we all know it's wrong. I mean, take yourself out of the political system. Say you're just an American that was lost in a cave for the last 10 years. And you come and you hear about this, and you'd be like, that's crazy. That's crazy. She shouldn't be canceled. You would immediately, even if you didn't know who she was, you would immediately go to her rescue. We have begun the McCarthy process where they're saying, bring out your reds, bring out your reds. And if we continue down this road, we're going to have to start giving names of people we know that might have been somebody who voted for Trump or something like that. It's not going to end. And in the end, nothing will make you stand. If you're trying to win, that's not a big enough motivator to stand. It has to be something based on something bigger than winning. It has to be based on morals and principles, and quite honestly, God. That I know what's right, I know what my mom and dad taught me, and this is wrong, and I won't throw somebody under the bus. If somebody's being thrown under the bus, even if I don't like them, I'll stand for them. So I stand for her.